Welcome to the Alpha Training and Consulting's online training program. Today's module is entitled Introduction to Your APQP class, AS9145 Standard. The purpose of this module is to introduce students to APQP, which by the way is an acronym for Advanced Product Quality Planning, and this will be your preparation class. Another purpose is to recommend a strategy for completing your class and implementing the APQP process into your organization. You will need to purchase the AS9145 standard for this class, and if you desire to do so, you can do that at the SAE website, and they gave you a link there that you can tap into to purchase that. But anyway, also, I'd like to welcome you to your APQP class. This is a class that I think you'll enjoy it, but the APQP is not without its challenges. You have to have quite a bit of knowledge. If you have all the knowledge behind you, then you read the standard, you'll understand it. But most of the modules or lectures that you listen to will not be APQP. It will be all the lectures to prepare you to understand the standard. So, but I think you'll really find it enjoyable, and it'll definitely help your career because you're going to use and learn a lot of new tools. All right, let's get started then. APQP is an acronym that stands for Advanced Product Quality Planning. We already mentioned that. The APQP process was originally developed and effectively used in the automotive industry, and as a result, many organizations in the aerospace industry have decided to implement it into their supply chains as well. So automotive industry had a lot of success with this and still do to this day. And because of that, other industries are finding interest in this. And aerospace isn't the only one. Medical device is also in there, and other industries as well. APQP is a methodology for ensuring that the product development processes deployed throughout the aviation, space, and defense industries are fully integrated phased processes that extend from concept and design through manufacturing, process planning and execution, and on into produce, use, service, and customer feedback. So that's right out of the standard there. So let's just hit the high points here. So we're going in the obviously the aerospace industry, and they're doing this to do what? To help improve the design process. The design of what? The design of the product, but also the design of the process, both of those. And it's a very effective methodology, like I said. I think you're really going to enjoy it. PPAP, another acronym which stands for Production Part Approval Process, is an output of APQP. So really within APQP, there's another one just for PPAP. APQP goes over the design, verification, validation of the design of the product, and of the process that builds the product. But PPAP is just the element for the process, okay, for the process. So APQP is design of the product and the process, but if you have a supplier that doesn't have design responsibility, then all that they will have to do from APQP is the section that we refer to as PPAP, because PPAP just have to do with the production process. These people that implement just this, they don't have any design responsibilities. Let me read that again. PPAP is an output of APQP confirming that the production process has demonstrated the potential to produce products that consistently fulfill all requirements at the customer demand rate. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this class definitely goes over all of AS9145. But before we get there, we go over project management, we go over lean, we go over all the statistics necessary to effectively implement AS9145. And we also go over AS9102, which is first article inspection. Now you may already know some of these things. If you do, just test out of them. You don't have to waste your time listening to a lecture that you already understand. So feel free to test out of those lectures that you already have a good knowledge base in. And another thing we teach in here is Minitab as well. But Minitab, we'll teach you how to do the statistics using Minitab. But if you don't have Minitab and have no intention of buying Minitab or using MEP or Minitab in this application, then you won't need to listen to those. There's not a lot of those. I think there's 3 of them. So if you don't have Minitab and you're not going to use Minitab, don't listen to those. That's not going to do you any good at all. All right, one of the first orders of business that you should do is create a class schedule for finishing the class. The total estimated time for this class is 50 hours, and that includes listening to the lectures and testing. And that's why we call it total estimated time, because I don't know how much time it'll take you to take the test. So from my experience, which is pretty vast, we gave it our best guess estimate at that. So if you have a goal to finish in 2 months, that means you'll have to spend approximately 6.2 hours per week. Now you may want to finish it sooner than that, then do the math and make sure you come up with a schedule and then follow that schedule. The most successful students are the ones that have a schedule and stick to the schedule. Now we're going to offer a lot of things in this class, including the total project management plan for implementation of APQP. And so you'll have to go in and put in names. I put in the department I thought they may be coming from, but I don't know how big your company is. I don't know, maybe just one person is going to be doing this, and that's fine. But so I put the department I thought the person may come from, but you'll actually have to put the person's name in here so you know who's responsible for all these requirements and implementation. Then of course you'll have to change the dates, but those are pretty easy to dates you feel comfortable with. And if you're doing this as a cross-functional team, which I hope you are, but again, some of you are just coming from smaller mom-pop organizations, as we call them, and it may just be you, okay? So I don't know about all that, but if you're, the best way to do it is if you have a cross-functional team. The standard even mentions that you need a cross-functional team. I think there's 5 members that they ask that you add to your cross-functional team. So anyway, go through there and maybe you can work on this together. What I do is you list this APQP class when we get through all the intro modules, which is most of the class. But once you get into APQP, you'll go through phase 1, and at that time, after you listen to those, I'd recommend you fill out this section of the schedule. Then go on to phase 2, finish the schedule. Phase 3, finish the schedule. There's 5 phases in AS9145, and we go through those pretty thoroughly. And we create the forms that you need for and everything. It doesn't mean the forms are perfect, but it's a good starting point. And you may already have some of these forms, so you may not need to do that. But you can download all of these from your online account by going into Listen to Presentations, and in there you'll see all the downloadable items for a given lecture. Okay. But this will be very helpful. I tried to make it as easy on you as I possibly could, because I know a lot of you out there are limited on resources, so I tried to make it as easy as I possibly could. Okay, then we have a project charter, and we teach you how to fill this out. We give you change request forms. My guess is you already have some of these, but it's a requirement of the standard that you have a change request procedure, and so we even throw a procedure in there if you want to look at that. Okay, then we have stage gate reviews. We'll teach you what stage gate reviews are, but we have all the forms, and you can fill these out for your records, and we'll show you a little bit more how to do that. We have preliminary sourcing plan that's required in the standard. We have design verification form, design validation form, process target form. All those forms are needed in the standard. So we've created those forms for you, unless you have some. And realize you can add other stuff to this. I gave it my best shot, and I think I got close. But you'll definitely have to polish this up to meet your specific needs. Then we also have FMEA forms in there, which is a requirement of the standard. You do process FMEAs, design FMEAs. Don't worry, we'll teach you how to do those as well. We have a capacity assessment form, which comes from the Volvo group. We just took it off there. They made it public knowledge. I looked through it. I was very impressed. So we have that for you. You can download that. We have Gauge R&R programs you can use. You can also use Minitab. This particular one's in Excel. You'll also have to plan your MSA studies. You can do it in this form here. Then we have all the FAI, first article inspection sheets from, what are they, AS 9102, there you go. And that AS 9102, remember, is part of the class, so we'll show you how to fill all these out. We have the fair number log. We have the PPAP approval paperwork for you. We have KPIs, programs that you can use if you desire to. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, we also have mini-tab modules that we train you in there. You won't need to listen to this unless you have mini-tab. If you can afford it, I'd recommend mini-tab. It's not that expensive, but it just depends on how tight your budget is. You don't have to use this, but it will make it easier. I'll show you how to use all the functions necessary to meet the requirements in AS 9145. Okay, so here we go. You'll listen to the online lectures and take associated exams. There's about 30 hours of lectures, and I gave you approximately 20 hours for testing. Some of you will do that a little faster on that in the testing. Some will take a little longer, but that's a reasonable estimate there for most people. So you're going to spend 50 hours there. When you're finished with this, you should also have your project plan. By the way, that project plan is, I created that in Microsoft Project, so you'll have to have Microsoft Project to tap into that work that I've already done for you. So there's the total estimated time for this, 50 hours. Goal to finish in 2 months. You're going to have to spend 6.2 hours per week, which is, about an hour a day. And I hope you can even do it quicker than that, but that's a reasonable schedule for most of you. As a cross-functional team, create the project plan. And I say do this and do this. That's what this shows. But you can also do, when you do phase 1, finish phase 1 plan and just work through it that way. That's how I prefer it. But either way, whatever works for you. Then, of course, when you get the plan all done, it's just a matter of following the plan and implement APQP. And how long does that take companies? I don't know, 4 to 8 months to fully implement APQP. Some longer than that, because it just depends on how sophisticated the design is, in design of the product and the process, because this could take years. And so it's kind of hard to know how long it's going to take. My guess is, though, most of you will do it in 4 to 8 months. Some can even do it quicker than that. Again, it just depends on the level of sophistication involved with all the design work. All right, then of course, once you implement it, you have to create process improvement over time with needed resources. So that kind of captures what we're doing in the class. Again, most of the class time, that 50 hours, 30 hours of it is lecture. Most of it's project management, lean statistics, and AS 9102. Then after you understand all that, AS 9145 isn't that hard to understand. But if you don't understand all those things that we're lecturing on before then, this standard will seem impossible. But once you go through these lectures, you'll see, oh, this makes sense to me. And once you do it once, you'll be able to do it over and over again. And it will be easier, of course, second time. What's in it for you? This is a great opportunity to launch a new element in your career. So if I were you, I'd be very excited about doing this. I think it'll bring a lot of opportunity into your career. All right, you're almost completed with this module. I just wanted to let you know, if you ever have any questions, please contact me, and I'll get back with you as soon as I possibly can. Congratulations, you have completed this module. I hope you have learned something new that will enhance your career. Thank you, and goodbye.